pretty soon after you had a really, like a big purple patch. You had a lean patch where you had a high score of 15 in 8 games, and the majority of those are single digits. So in a period like that, where do you go to when things aren't flowing as well?
Well, to be honest, I feel like this is probably something I've struggled with throughout my entire career. I definitely went searching because all of a sudden what was working feels like it's not working. And you just, I guess you go searching for answers. And one thing I've learned, which is too late, is that there are no answers. And particularly in T20 game and in the short format, things do change really quickly. And something that I learned from Leah Poulton was when I'm actually analysing my dismissals is to try and take the emotion out of it and firstly understand, was it a good ball? Could I have actually, you know, if it's like they're allowed to bowl a good ball, that's okay. Maybe I actually didn't do anything wrong in the first place. Secondly, was it the right shot? Thirdly, was it the right shot but poor execution? So actually understanding what went wrong. And I think throughout that lean patch, I'm just catastrophizing. I'm all of a sudden believing that my whole entire game is shit because I've been dismissed a couple of times. And then my confidence is lost because I'm not actually analysing the game from without any emotion. I'm putting all my emotion in it, and I'm quite an emotional person to begin with. So once I lose my confidence, and then I catastrophize, and I then believe that I'm shit, and then I believe that everyone else thinks I'm shit, and then all of a sudden it just cascades, and I'm actually in no state of mind to go out and to be able to perform, because who can perform when you've put that much pressure and self-doubt on top of your own shoulders? So I think for me, that's definitely something that I did do, and something that I've learned more recently is actually understanding that you have a game plan, you have a game, and it's about doing the things that you need to do, and that's individualized leading into it to be able to go out in the middle with a free and clear mind to be able to execute your skills. And where I've gone wrong is when I've completely overcomplicated that. So if I do everything that I need to do and I walk out there with a clear mind, I'm giving myself the best chance of being successful. But it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's 20 things wrong with my game. Like, I actually need to find out what occurred, like not just make up stories and all of a sudden believe that I can no longer bat because someone bowled a good ball, or I made the right decision, I just didn't get it, or I made a wrong decision, well, I'll just make a different next time. So yeah, just sort of simplifying my analysis of my game and just believing that my base game is good enough, and there's so many things that you can't control out in the middle, but taking care of what I can control and having trust that that's good enough to be successful more times than it won't be.
Goodness, there's a lot to unpack there. The first thing you said, that's great advice anyway, and that ability to actually take control of what you can control. But there's something you said right at the start where there are no answers. So it's a lot of people, and I'd say the vast majority of athletes or anyone chasing to be their best selves in whatever area they're in, are always searching for answers. So you go and read books, listen to podcasts, and I know we've spoken about this before, and high performance setups, there's so many coaches around. Like at the moment where we are, it's almost like one coach for every 2 players. What do you mean by there's no answers? And did you fall into that trap of always searching?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking of all the successful people, and I'm thinking, oh, I want to bat like this person, or I want to bat like this person. I want to take a bit of their game and a bit of this person's game and a bit of that person's game, and I want to put that all into my game. And I guess find out what works for them and take that on board. And it's like, that is the most ridiculous thing in the world, because they might do some things really well, but there's things that I do really well, and it's almost like you can only be the second best version of somebody else, but you can be the very best version of yourself. So I feel like you go searching and you want to add things, but in reality, having a really strong self of like sense of who you are as a person and believing in that, and then having a really strong belief in what your game is and understanding that, and then just managing your own individual weaknesses and expanding your own individual strengths, and your game is going to be completely different to someone else's, and that's completely okay. I don't need to bat like anybody else. I just need to bat like the best version of myself, and that is going to be good enough when done well. So yeah, there are no answers, and gee, I wish I had have known that 10 years ago and stopped trying to, as soon as something went wrong, trying to change everything to bat like somebody else who was successful doing that, because I can't be successful batting like that person. That's not who I am.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to continue to be part of the Inside Edge project, hit subscribe or leave a comment below. We're also on all major social media platforms. I look forward to having you along next time.